Tonight, researchers in Indiana are playing a key role in the search for answers following the devastating train derailment in Ohio.
Yeah, scientists at Purdue are testing to see what exactly seeped into the ground in East Palestine and into the air, too.
WRTV's Rachel Wilkerson got a first-hand look at the testing and the concerns it's raising.
A team of professors, researchers, and students are studying more than 300 samples from in and around the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment site. The fiery crash happened on February 3rd. Thousands of people were forced to evacuate as Norfolk Southern and the National Transportation Safety Board announced vinyl chloride, a cancer-causing chemical, was at risk of contaminating the area.
So we initially went in to help people understand drinking water safety. But when we got there, we realized that it was actually a lot worse than what the public had been led to believe. And so we adjusted our approach to sample basically as much as we could and bring it back to Purdue.
Dr. Andrew Welton is a professor in the Civil Engineering Department at Purdue University. He says their preliminary testing has uncovered a lot.
So our team here in this laboratory have detected a number of different chemicals that the Ohio EPA has found in the creeks. But we also detected a few others that they are not necessarily looking for in the drinking water. Other professors here and their teams at Purdue are finding other chemicals that these officials are not testing for in the water, and that's going to help us understand the big picture.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is the lead for testing the air. The Ohio EPA is in charge of testing the water. But Dr. Welton says the agencies aren't using the same devices and aren't testing for the same exact chemicals.
So one example is the Ohio EPA, the state of Ohio's EPA, is not looking for acrolein in the water.
Acrolein is, quote, very toxic by inhalation, according to the National Library of Medicine. It can also cause skin and eye irritation.
Professors at Purdue University found it in the water. Texas A&M University researchers found it in the air. The federal EPA found it in the air. So these agencies need to start looking for the same things in different media so you can understand what the exposures are.
We asked the Ohio EPA if they're doing enough testing. We also asked why testing is different from air and water samples. In a statement, the agency says the list of chemicals it's testing in drinking water is being adjusted as new information becomes available, adding it's increasing the number of chemicals to look for. Ohio officials have announced the water is safe to drink and be around. That's a concern for Dr. Welton and his team.
We were led to believe that a lot of the contamination washed downstream and that had been diluted, and there were no acute health risks in the community anymore. But that wasn't the case. And so we were shocked at how much contamination remained in the creeks and was detectable by odor just by walking by the creeks, and how the public wasn't warned about these issues.
Dr. Welton says he experienced headaches while on site. Some residents have also complained of headaches and burning eyes. Dr. Welton believes it's a sign of potential chemical exposure, so his team collected samples from more than a dozen Ohio creeks and private water wells.
We're taking the water samples and then we're physically extracting the individual chemicals out of them into another liquid. And then we take that liquid and we inject it onto this instrument here.
While he focuses on finding what exactly is in the water, Professors Neustraut Young and Brandon Bohr and their team are using this $650,000 high-powered device to see what's being released into the air.
It's a rather sophisticated instrument that is able to detect chemical compounds that may be present in the air second by second, in fact within milliseconds. So it is able to speciate the compounds and give us the exact chemical formula, what it may be. So it is helping us rapidly detect what may be in this air, which is right above the water. Right here is the spike, and these are the different.
We watch as spikes appear on the screen showing levels of both harmful and safe compounds detected. No one at Purdue is getting paid for this. The crisis is so important to them, they're using money out of their funding account.
Whenever there are pressing environmental issues, we really hope that we can provide the solutions. And from our end, our job is truly to detect what this is and probably help understand what may it cause. So if we can detect what there is, we are able to maybe answer questions better.
Rachel Wilkerson, WRTV.
While the Purdue professors are testing soil, water, and air samples, shipments of toxic soil tested only for the cancer-causing chemical dioxin have resumed going to a landfill in Putnam County. Shipments were halted after Governor Eric Holcomb ordered a third-party lab to test specifically for dioxin. As we reported, those tests didn't reveal harmful levels of chemicals. The Purdue professors say their research will identify all chemicals present, not just dioxin.